Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Junhan. Now today you join me driving the Ford Mustang, which is one of the American muscle cars. And before I continue, I would like to give a huge shout out to Good Car Imports for giving me the opportunity to drive this car, and also Brian as well. So if you're interested in buying any sports car, supercars, do let him know, because they can sort it out for you. Like, let's say if you want any certain specification, like if you want the color to be yellow or you want something very specific, they can tick all of the boxes for you, and then they'll import the car directly for you at the best price possible. So for American muscle cars, there are quite a few. So from Dodge, you have the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger. For the Chevrolet, you got a Chevrolet Camaro, you got a Corvette Z06 and such. But in Malaysia, particularly in Malaysia, the Ford Mustang is the most popular one among all of them. So the Ford Mustang, there are two different variants. So one of it is the 2.3 liter Ecoboost. Ecoboost stands for turbocharged in Ford sense, inline 4. And there's also another one which is the 5 liter V8, which is much bigger. So that one, they call it the GT. Those keen viewers will know that from the starting of my video, you hear the exhaust note and the back logo, you'll be able to find out that this is actually the 2.3 liter one. Yeah. Even though that the 5 liter V8 one sounds much better, but this one isn't that bad either. So let me give you an acceleration to let you see, to let you listen how it sounds. So I'm gonna wind out the window a bit. Okay, I turn it to sport mode. Change the mode, press here. Normal, Sport Plus. Okay, so this one opens up the valve. So if I accelerate a bit, oh, just listen to that. So now we are on we're not on the road. Basically, we're just on a private empty space, so we can't really accelerate, but the exhaust note is very nice. Just press a bit. Yep, and there's very minimal turbo lag, because this car, even though it's turbocharged, it's actually a twin scroll turbo, basically, which works effectively like there's two. So one spools out first before the other. So I wouldn't say zero lag, but it's minimal. So I'm gonna try one more time. Ooh, sound very nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna park somewhere that is nice and quiet, so that I can show you guys why the 2.3 liter Ecoboost may very well be the better option as compared to the 5 liter V8. Let's go! And just like that, we have parked the Ford Mustang at an abandoned junkyard, which is a big open space, which is nice, so they can film this car. Now this car, the Ford Mustang, a lot of people think that this car is supposed to have the 5 liter V8. It must have that because it's more powerful, it sounds better, and it fits the characteristics of a muscle car, being heavy and chunky. But to me, the Ecoboost version as well is actually pretty good, because despite it being a small engine, it has a lot to offer. For one is the price. So this car, the Ecoboost version, when it's new, costs you about 500,000 ringgit. The 5 liter V8, however, will cost you 600,000. So that is like 100,000 more, and that could get you another 2 new Myvis. And actually, visually, you're getting almost the same thing, because the Ecoboost version and the 5 liter V8 one, the differences is only comes down to the wheels. The wheels for the 5 liter V8, you have a lot of spokes compared to this one, and then the logo at the back is a GT instead of a pony, and that's it. So you're paying 100,000 less, but you're getting the same looks. And most people will look at the Mustang and don't know whether it's the 5 liter or it's the Ecoboost anyways. They see it's a Mustang, they'll be like, wow, it's nice. So yeah, I think that's a cool point. The second thing comes down to the road tax. So the 2.3 liter road tax costs you 680 bucks per year. But can you imagine how much the 5 liter would cost you? And yes, it costs you about 11,160 ringgit for the 5 liter one. So that's very expensive. And that is not including the insurance, because the insurance to insure the 5 liter one is much higher as well. So with these two factors, you know that the price is more expensive for the 5 liter V8. The next thing will be the weight of this car. Since the engine is much smaller now, it's actually 100 kg lighter as compared to the 5 liter V8, and that actually translates to a few things. So number one, it makes the front end lighter, so it's more agile, so it's better for cornering. So unless you're looking for straight line speed and brute power, if not, this car is more suitable for you. And the combination of the car being lighter and less power makes it much more fuel efficient, because I've seen forums who says that those V8 owners, right, this car actually drinks petrol with 2 straws. So it uses a lot of fuel. The fuel consumption is very, very high. So this car, they say it's pretty efficient as compared to that one. So this car, I would say, you have better range, and I would say it's a more daily drivable car. And last, this engine is actually easier to work on and it's more tunable. So especially if those people, you're one of the guys who actually cannot keep the car stock and have to mod, this will be a better option, because this car, you can change a lot of things. You can change the intercooler, which this car has actually done. So this car has a new intercooler in front. There's a new Roche open air intake port in front, which sounds very nice. The air induction noise, which sounds like this. And also, it has a new rear exhaust, which sounds like that. Okay, now let's talk about the exterior. So this color is a triple yellow paint, and this color is actually specifically available only for the 5-litre V8 in Malaysia. But then because this car is directly imported from Australia, that's why the EcoBoost version can also spec with this color, which is a very nice thing. And also, if you come closer, you look at the Mustang, famous Mustang vinyl, the 2 stripes. Usually people would spec a solid color, but this one, if you look closely, it actually fades, and then as it goes towards the front, it becomes lighter, which is a very unique design. Here you can see the pony proudly showing here, and the lights. So here you got the 3 vertical slats. So this one actually is the same as the back. So the back light is actually like that as well. So it's clear. And then you got the front lip. And one thing about the Mustang is actually how, like now, especially under the sun, you can see all this obvious crease line. So you can see here, here. This one actually houses the V8, the 5-litre V8. You can see how it hunches up. But then in this case, of course, this car doesn't have it, but it still looks cool anyways to have that. And then you see this line which goes all the way to the back. And then if you head towards the side, you see the lines right here. It goes all the way there. Yeah, those are very, very nice things. Make the car look really like a muscle car, especially at the back right here. So the rear hunches, it's extremely muscular. If you look towards the side, you see it's flat. And remember the line, you see it goes all the way towards the back. And then it actually flicks up. So this is like an integrated rear spoiler. So it goes up like that. Very nicely done. And you see how the light shines. You got this shadow right here, because here there's another line as well. So the contour and the crease of the curvature of this car is actually very, very nice. And one thing I like about the side profile is actually this car, since it's a fastback, it has a very front hood, but then it has a very small rear. But then you got this sloping roofline. So yeah, sloping roofline, a tiny rear, and a long front adds up a good combination. And also you have the Mustang vinyl on the side, which run across to the back. You got this side skirt right here, and then the wheels, like I said, the GT version have a lot more spokes as compared to this. Yep. And then this car has an optional piece, which is this one, which acts like a vent, but I think it's just for aesthetic purpose only. The rear of the car, you can see this whole section here is finished in gloss black to give it contrast. The logo, so this is the pony logo for the EcoBoost version. If it's the GT version, the 5-litre V8, it says the GT word right here. And then here, like I said, follow like the front's daytime running light. It's 3 vertical slats, and this one you can see it's actually like a 3D effect, so you can put your hand inside. So yeah, like I said, picture don't do it justice. You can't see until you come and feel and touch. So yeah, you look like that, you can see, right? Yep, there's actually a recess on each of the lights. Very nice. And then bottom you got this aftermarket exhaust, so it's much larger and it's finished in chrome. And then the back here, you got the rear diffuser finished in the same color as this. It just looks so good at the back. It's so muscular, you look at that. Very nice. Just open up the boot and see how is it. Push it up. It actually has a lot of space, just that this part here actually makes it quite limited. So this area here is smaller. So let's say if you have a very big luggage, it just cannot fit like that, you have to go from on top. So yeah, other than that, inside is actually very spacious. You can push these 2 chairs down so that it's flat. You can put off stuff. Pretty practical. Close it back down. So check out the interior. So the Mustang is not supposed to be a very luxurious car, but everything is supposed to be very solid and premium. So like the leather, it's all very premium. The interior is everything finished in black leather with contrasting like aluminium and chrome bits. So let's head inside. Okay, let's start the car because it's boiling. Foot on the brake and just start the car first. Okay, so from the speedometer you can see this is the RPM. Everything is pretty self-explanatory. So here's the RPM, and then here is the speedometer. I like how they put ground speed. If you look there, there's ground speed. So it's like aircraft inspired. And then bottom there you got miles per hour, of course, because this car is actually from the US, the Mustang. Yeah, everything here is very simple. I mean, just close the door. So everything here is finished in this chrome piece. Then you got the Mustang skid plate at the bottom. Let's just close the door first. Lock the car. Okay, so here you can see these are the toggles. So here you can select the mode. So if you press this, it actually changes. So you got normal, you got sport plus, you got racetrack, and you got snow or wet. And then the bottom here, you look at the steering wheel. If I press, you can change the steering feel, whether you want normal, you want sport, or you want comfort. So if it's sport, it's going to be very heavy. If it's wet, it's going to be very light. Okay, then this is the turn off the traction control, hazard light, start, stop. Yep, everything here is pretty simple and you immediately figure it out. But what I like about this car is all the contrasting bits, like this part here, all the silver, and it's not too much, it's just nice. So all these surrounds are all finished in this aluminium chrome. So yeah, very nice. And this gear stick, it's huge. So yes, muscle feel, nice. One thing I like about the Mustang interior is they have this. So this is basically a nod to the Mustang heritage. So this car is actually the 6th generation. So you have the Mustang like from the 1st generation, which has the very classical look, and then you got the 2nd generation, which is a more revised version of the 1st generation, and then you got the 3rd generation, which has a very boxy flat shape, which I personally don't really like. They call it the Fox body. And then you have the 4th generation, which is almost the same but more revised version of the 3rd version. And then you got the 5th. That's when the 5th one looks more like a proper Mustang. And then finally you got the 6th version, which is this one, which looks very nice. And then you have the facelifted version, but I think the facelifted version is still okay only. I still think this one is the nicest. And then now you have the latest one, which is the Ford Mustang Mach E, if I'm not mistaken. So that is like a electric SUV car. Yeah, so yeah, that's a very nice piece to pay tribute to the Mustang. Towards the back, we have 2 seats. I would say initially I thought the seats would be quite tight, but actually if you are below 170 cm, it's actually pretty comfortable and pretty spacious. Just that if you're above 170, your head might just knock on top there, or let's say if it's a very sunny day, you get a suntan just on your head. So yeah, but everything is very nice, nicely finished, very nice. So I've actually parked back up the Ford Mustang. Now this car is actually in a very tip-top condition and it only has 3,000 km mileage. So this car is actually effectively brand new, and this car is selling for about 250,000, which is definitely worth its price. So, and then if you look to your left, so this one is actually the same as this, just that this one is the facelifted version. So this is a 2019, 2016, and this one is the 5-litre version of this one. So this is a 2.3L Ecoboost. This one is the 5-litre V8. So like I said, you can see the rims is different, like more spokes as compared to this one. And then this one got the 5.0 destination at the back. And then if you head towards the back, you can see this one says GT and that one shows a little pony. So yeah, those are the differences. And guys, that's all you need to know why power isn't everything and why this small little tiny engine is actually quite good. You don't need to have that 5-litre V8, even though it's more powerful and sounds better. This one has its perks as well. So yes, with that said, I'm going to catch you guys next time. Ciao.